The skies above Draction V were thick with smoke, a sunless haze that kept the planet locked in a kind of permanent dusk. Long ago, this world had been a beacon of creativity and connection, where sculpture, music, and free thought flourished under twin moons. Now it was rubble and echoes. The war was over in official reports. But for those left in the debris, the foragers, the forgotten, the enslaved, it had only morphed into a different kind of nightmare. Among them wandered a lone figure, staggering across what had once been the heart of a trade plaza. Her name, not that anyone cared to remember, was Elira. Her kind, the Nirelians, once shimmered with natural light that danced along their skin in glowing trails. That glow was nearly gone now, muted under layers of grime and bruises. Her hair, once a luminous cascade of opal white, was hacked short and uneven, the work of someone who hadn't cared whether it hurt. Elira had been bought, bartered, beaten, and finally dumped. No clan, no title, no homeworld to return to. The war didn't just kill people, it erased them. All she had left was herself, and even that was wearing thin. Around her, the broken market stalls and crumbling statues seemed to whisper stories no one listened to anymore. And Elira, she didn't believe in stories, not the old myths or the promises of rescue. Especially not miracles. Then he appeared. He wasn't from around here, that much was clear. A man, human by the look of him, moved through the wreckage with an odd kind of ease. No guards, no drones, no armor. Just a long, weather-worn coat trailing in the ash. His eyes scanned everything, calm, unhurried. Like someone who didn't fear death because he'd seen it too many times already. "Don't go near him," someone rasped from nearby. Elira turned slightly. An elder woman slouched beside a collapsed column, her right eye replaced with a cracked implant that hummed with static. She nodded toward the man. "He's not one of us. Off-world soldier, maybe. Could be hunting escapees. Or worse." Elira offered a dull nod. She meant to move on, disappear into the ruins. But the man stopped. And turned. Their eyes met. His gaze wasn't hungry or cruel. Just watchful. Alive. That made her stomach knot. People didn't look like that here. Not anymore. Was he measuring her? Marking her down for some trafficker? She tried to keep moving. "Hold up," he said. His voice surprised her. No bark, no threat. Just a voice. Human. Not kind exactly, but not sharp either. Elira froze. Not because she trusted him, but because her body had no strength left to flee. He stepped closer, hands raised slightly, fingers spread. "You're Nirelian, right?" She swallowed. He frowned, studying her face. "What's your name?" "It doesn't matter," she muttered. His expression didn't shift into pity. Something else flickered there. Recognition? "I'm Lieutenant Theo Marek," he said, glancing around like someone who didn't want to be overheard. "You shouldn't be out in the open. This zone is being watched." She scoffed. "I've survived worse than watchers." He didn't laugh. Didn't flinch. "I'm not here for arrests or trades. I'm looking for someone. We recovered a list, your name's on it." Her brow creased. "You've got the wrong person." But he was already pulling a slim, worn data pad from inside his coat. A few swipes later, he held the screen out to her. "Elira Neril," he read, "House of Solari. Trained interpreter. Composer. Last spotted near Haven Spire before the siege." She stared at the screen like it might burn her. Her fingers twitched. "I haven't heard any of those words in so long." Her voice was hoarse. "You still are those things," Theo said quietly. She shook her head. "No. That version of me didn't survive the detention zones." He nodded once, quiet but firm. "Then I'm here for whatever's left." A long silence followed. It wasn't cold or uncomfortable, just heavy, like time had paused and was waiting for her to make the next move. Eventually Elira asked, her voice low, "And if I say yes? I get you off this rock. There's a sanctuary vessel in orbit. No cages. No tests. Just safety." She narrowed her eyes, studying him. Safety? From a human soldier? The irony stung. "You really think I'll believe that? That I should just follow a stranger in a coat and hope for the best? No, he said plainly. But I think you should let me earn it. It wasn't the words, it was how he said them. No begging. No superiority. Just raw honesty. And in a place like Draction, that stood out more than any badge or blaster. So she followed. They moved through the skeleton of the old city, her gait uneven, his steady. Theo never touched her. He didn't pull or coax. When she paused, he paused. When drones whined overhead, he shielded her in silence. At dusk, they camped in the shadow of a ruined transmitter array, the solar panels cracked like shattered glass. That first night, he built a small fire from emergency gel and twisted wire. He warmed ration bars over the flicker, never offering them, just placing them nearby, like they were hers to take if she wanted. He didn't pry. Never asked her about what happened before. Instead, he told stories. Awkward, sometimes dumb stories. About growing up on a low-grav mining station, failing his first orbital navigation test and vomiting into his helmet. About how rain on Earth smelled like warm dust, not like the electric, metal tang of stormfall on Draction. Elira said little. Just listened. But deep down, something shifted, something that had been frozen for years. That night, when sleep finally found her, her dreams weren't of chains or blood. They were full of sound. On the third night, they stumbled onto the charred remnants of a transport convoy, the wreckage still scarred with plasma burns. Armor suits, half vaporized. Melted insignias. Theo stopped cold. This was my unit, he said quietly. Elira hesitated, stepping over a twisted exo-rig. You said your team made the survivor list. He crouched near a crushed helmet, wiping away soot from the faded emblem. They didn't leave the list. They died before they could. I was the only one who crawled out of this mess. I've been finishing what they started ever since. She didn't reply right away. Watching him, the way his shoulders stayed tense, the way he didn't cry but looked like he wanted to. She asked, why keep doing this? Why keep chasing ghosts for people you don't know? He looked up at her. Because I wore that uniform when we broke this planet, he said. And somebody needs to be here when we start putting it back together. There wasn't an answer to that. So she knelt beside him. And together, without fanfare, they buried the dead. One after another. Quiet, careful, respectful. That night, as the stars crept over the sky like pinpricks in cloth, Elira sang. Her voice cracked. The melody wavered. But it was real. An old Nyrelian mourning hymn, meant to carry souls to the dusk beyond the moons. Theo didn't speak. His eyes shimmered, and it wasn't from the smoke. By the time they reached the extraction ridge, her body was trembling with exhaustion. But something deeper inside her, something invisible, was standing tall again. Awake. The sanctuary ship descended in silence, lights glowing soft blue. Elira stood frozen at the ramp. What if I'm not who I was? She asked. Then you'll be someone new, Theo replied. She stepped forward, then ran. Months later, aboard the Haven, Elira sang before a crowd of survivors. Her voice was steady, her glow returned. And when the music ended, they simply stood, because what was left was hope.